watch and burn.
Hey everyone, so tonight I wanted to discuss Clint Mansell's score for the episode of Black Mirror that he did, San Junipero, which is in and of itself the best episode of Black Mirror there ever was. I mean, up until this point, that show had consistently been getting better. And then just like everything else Netflix does, it just pretty much fell to shit with that season where the two guys fell in love playing that Street Fighter clone. And oh, fuck, I don't know what the hell happened to that show. That season did have the episode with Miley Cyrus where she covered the Nine Inch Nails in a sense. And I thought that episode was fantastic. But I don't know. It was pretty much from this season forward, it got kind of dodgy, to say the least. But San Junipero is one of the best episodes to a TV show that I have ever seen. And I'm not just saying that because I love the 80s, which is true, but I believe the characters. I thought they had a lot to offer. They weren't just one-dimensional. I believed how they fell in love, and I absolutely loved San Junipero. I would love to go there after I die. I would spend eternity there dancing to fucking Duran Duran and Aha for the rest of all time if I could. But I know that's probably not going to happen, so that actually really sucks, to be perfectly honest. I think about that quite a bit. Whenever I watch San Junipero, I have this fantasy where I can get transported there and I can spend the rest of all time there listening to Wang Chung, but fuck! Why couldn't I have been born 20 or so years before I was? Oh, God, that would have been just so perfect. Anyways, Clint Mansell's score for this, it has a sort of it's a very airy quality to it, and it's very light, and it elevates every scene that it's used into like sort of like a majestic level where it has this sort of like heaven-esque quality to it, which I think was the point because San Junipero is sort of like a heaven for people. You can go to any decade, experience any type of culture from the era that you chose, the fashion, the music, the food, whatever. And if that's your thing and you want to keep living forever, I suppose that is heaven. And so that's why this score sounds somewhat heavenly. Now, I picked up the cassette, and this was the first cassette that I had bought in decades. And I bought the cassette because I figured, why not? Amazon had it on sale for practically nothing, I think. And so I picked it up. And the cassette itself is a lot of fun. The slipcase feels great. I love the artwork. Everything about this was just awesome. The cassette itself is red, which is a lot of fun. Very 80s. And then, of course, there's not much as far as an inlay is concerned. I do feel that they sort of went a little cheaper here with not going full color. But I do still like the way it looks. And I like the way it feels. And wow, it even says Netflix on it. But yeah, I don't know. Clint Mansell really did a fantastic job with the score here. I believe that this would fit in something that was authentically from the 1980s. And yet at the same time, it sounds completely modern because, of course, this episode, just like every episode of Black Mirror, it blurs the lines. It blurs several lines. So on one hand, you're back in, say, 1987. And yet, on the other hand, it takes place in the present to near-ish future in an alternate reality where when people die, they can be uploaded to the cloud where they hang out in San Junipero forever. So the music is retro yet modern, and it fits, and it works really, really well. And I just absolutely love this episode. I love everything about it. I love the cinematography. I love the acting. I love the writing. I felt that Black Mirror, like, they outdid themselves with this episode. And I think most people feel that way about this. I think a lot of people feel that San Junipero was the best episode that they ever released or ever wrote and finished and put out to the world. And that's because it was. It was just perfect. And I felt really bad for the guy at the arcade. The nerdy guy who was always there and he was always alone. Sort of the fear, I guess, everybody has at some point that you're going to be left behind playing Frogger at some arcade while everybody else is out falling in love and having fun. I wouldn't be playing Frogger, though. I'd be playing fucking Q*bert. Because I never really understood that game. I never understood Q*bert at all, and considering that YouTube's available and I haven't been bothered ever to look it up, I guess it really says how invested I am. But yeah, so look, I'm going to go. So thank you so much for sitting with me while I discuss Clint Mansell's score for the Black Mirror episode, San Junipero. If you like this review, don't forget to do something nice for somebody. And if you want to do something nice for me, figure out a way for me to spend eternity in San Junipero, because I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.